Okay, so let's look a little bit closer at that candy situation from the last lesson. And what we want to do is we want to start describing, we actually talked a little bit about this without using the vocabulary in lesson number 3, but we want to be able to describe functions as either discrete or continuous. So let's look at this situation. One situation is exactly what we had yesterday. We had, you could buy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever bags of candy. So the key in this case is the fact that this is bags of candy. Whereas in this other situation, I changed it to buying pounds of candy, like in the bulk section. If you've ever bought candy at like the bulk section at Wegmans, where you scoop it out and put it in a bag and weigh it. So this would be pounds of candy instead. All right, but notice that the pricing is exactly the same. So that means that the function is going to be exactly the same in both cases. The number of bags of candy is equal to $1.25 per bag, whereas on the right-hand side, the total cost of candy is going to be equal to $1.25 per pound of candy. But it's the same, the function looks exactly the same. Here's where things are going to differ a little bit. What sort of x values make sense in this case? Well, if you remember yesterday, we talked about only whole numbers make sense. And that's because you can't buy 1.5 pound bags of candy. You can't buy 1.25 bags of candy. You can only buy 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And in this case, any positive number makes sense. And that's because when you go to buy something from the bulk section at Wegmans, you can buy 1.1 pounds. You can buy 1.5 pounds. You can buy 1.75 pounds. Basically, any number would work. So when we go to graph these things, they actually look fairly similar. So I'm going to start by putting in all the dots on both graphs, just like we did in lesson 3. You can do the same thing. Okay, so notice that this starts the exact same way. I put in all the dots. $1.25 is the slope, so I'm going up by 1.25 each time in both cases. Here's the difference. In the case on the left-hand side, we only include the dots because the values in between don't make any sense. You can't buy 1.5 bags. Whereas over here, you can buy 1.5 pounds. So on the right-hand side, not only do I have to draw the dots, but I also have to draw the line connecting them because every single value would make sense even between the dots. So this is what's known as discrete data. Discrete is when you only have certain values that make sense. Whereas if all values make sense, we call that continuous data. We call that continuous data. Okay, so let's wrap this up on the chart on the next page. So basically, discrete functions are when only certain values make sense in the problem. And a continuous is when all values make sense. Now, when I say all values, I don't necessarily mean negatives because negatives don't make sense a lot with word problems. When all values make sense in the problem. What I mean is, this one is typically your whole numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this one would be 1, 1.1, 1.75, 2, 2.8, etc. And then the biggest difference is on the graphs. So the graph is just dots. And this one is graph is dots and connecting line. I'm going to put in parentheses or curve, although most of what we deal with is lines. So on the discrete side, you would just put the dots and you don't connect them. On the continuous side, you would put the dots and you would connect them. That's the difference between discrete and continuous.